Hola, ¿cómo estás? Mi nombre es Queen Cheryl. Thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. There will be no ageism here on this channel. My passage is going to be from the U.S. to another country. And I have decided this. Well, I decided back in 2018. That's when I started moving in my head, moving abroad in my head, and thinking I'm going to begin the journey pretty soon. Didn't know how, did not know where. I just know that it had to happen. So my passage to another country, I've decided to start journaling through the channel. So as you may know, my channel is called What About Panama? So that was my end destination. And I hope you will enjoy it and appreciate it and follow me through my journey in my 70s, because that's where we're going. Please like, subscribe, comment, and ring the notification bell. Now, when you comment, tell me where you are, who you are, where you're from, and if you've ever thought about traveling, living abroad. If you live abroad, where and why? What is your why? What is your why? Now, my why, I did not think that where I was offering me any more than I already had. So I tried to figure out what I wanted to do more. I couldn't, it was not there. Moving to another state, I've already done that, and it's the end. It's the end. And things began to get crazier as time went on. You know, we went through the pandemic, and now we're through this, whatever this is. So I chose my place, and I'm going to tell you how. And I've already told you why. I am trying to, what makes other people tick. And if I had the same tick. So that's why I want to know your why. Why did you choose to move to another country? And if you are thinking about moving to another country, why? That's important, because first of all, you have to come to a conclusion that something else is needed and something else can be done, and you can further move on in your life somewhere else for various reasons. I mean, it maybe not because of the country is, so it might be something else, you know. But for me, it was various reasons, and that's one of them. So I'm trying to get to 5,000 subscribers. So if you would subscribe, like, comment, ring the notification bell, and make sure you tell me who you are, where you're from, and if you're living abroad, where. If you're wanting to live abroad, where have you chosen to research? Because I'm going to tell you how I researched it. A lot of questions people ask when you say, and you don't have to tell anybody, but if you do tell somebody, family, you tell them, you know, pretty much after you figured it out, right? But some other people, you might say, oh, I'm going to move abroad. I'm going to find a country. I'm thinking about moving abroad. What you going to do? What am I going to do? What? Live? You mean like live? Because it's foreign. It sounds foreign. I'm going to move to another country. What are you going to do? Probably going to breathe, first of all. You know, I don't understand that, but they will. You're leaving your family? Pretty much, unless they come with me. You don't have to answer the questions. You just throw another question back. I live like states and states in between. Way on the West Coast. They live on the East Coast. Do you see them every day? What about your family? Do you see them every day? Do you talk to them every day? If you talk to them every day, we can do the same thing. We can see each other because, you know, they have this internet. They have the phones with the FaceTime and all of that. So questions get to be the first one. They'll say, why? You don't have to go through your whys. You just say, I feel like it. That's something different to do, whatever. They'll ask you everything. What about your children? They're grown and gone, okay? They have children. Their children have children. There's something called an airplane, and you can also and always get on it and fly back and forth. They can come visit you. You've been there all your life, and they've been there all your life. So now they have somewhere to vacation. Now, in my family wouldn't. I don't think there's anybody in my family that said why, because I'm the one that, if it happened, would do it. So I don't get that. I don't get that from my family. So, but a lot of people I've heard have been asked questions about why, what you gonna do, what about your family, what about your grandkids, what about your this, what about your that. I think they're living their lives, and I don't think that we're seeing each other every day, so you don't have to answer all those foolish questions. I mean, they might not be foolish to you, but to me, they're foolish. And it's like, I'm gonna buy a house, and oh, really? Oh, you're gonna get your cute little condo? What's a cute little condo? No, I think I want 5 bedrooms, a big kitchen, and what you need with a house that big? People ask the stupidest questions. Oh my God. I want it. So the questions, I don't know. You know anybody there? Have you ever been there? Most people say you need to go to a place before you move. They do say that. They do say that. We'll find out if I did or not. They do say that. I'm different. Do you know anybody there? I didn't know anybody when I moved from another state to a state. I didn't know anybody there. But they ask that question. It doesn't matter if you're moving. I don't know if you moved across town. No, I think they won't cross town, but out of a state, yeah, they do. So those are the questions you'll get. Where are you gonna live? Where are you gonna live? Where would you live if you moved to another country? Probably under a roof somewhere, whatever. It just keeps going on and on. And I can't even think about the questions that people can ask you, but those are some of the things that they will do. Ask you a lot of questions. I don't think that anybody would have asked me if I was just graduated from college and I'm like 25, 26. Oh, you find a job there? That's, not why you moving. Some questions they don't. So ageism is just, it's stupid. It's stupid, stupid, stupid. That's all I gotta say. It's just stupid. So my journey started in 2018 when I tried to figure out, where would I like to live? I know I can't do snow, ice, cold. I'm getting cold thinking about it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't have to do it. So I live in a desert. I live in the desert. It was 120 last summer here. I don't want that. I don't want another desert. I already know what it's like to live in a desert, so I don't want that. I don't mind. There's no humidity here. That's the only thing that will be different is the humidity. And I've been in Houston humidity, and it's worse than Florida. Miami humidity. You walk out, you go, and then immediately, before you get to your car, if it's not in the garage, you go, I need to go back. I think I need another shower. And I asked my friend, how do you do that? He said, well, when I first moved here, he said, I lost 50 pounds. He said, it was hard. Then he got used to it because I saw the 50 pounds back. But anyway, I don't mind. I don't mind. It's good for your skin, your hair. Here is dry. The water's hard. You don't get a break. Winter, November, December, January, and February. that's winter here. So that's not bad. It's not bad. Sometimes the wind blows, but the wind blows year round here. And if the wind blows when it's cold, it's colder. It's colder. Trust me. It's like living in a blizzard. It's cold in the desert. So don't think when you come to the desert, Las Vegas, you're going to skip being cold in a winter. You're going to have some winters, and they're going to be a little rough sometimes, but it's not rough like I got to go out there and scrape snow and then slide around and then put the rock salt under it or over the ice that you've uncovered and wait. Use a blow dryer to open your door. I don't want that. So I chose a tropical country. I'd like for you to look at the video. I'm going to show a video. I did a video. I'm not good at this. Learning. I think when I came up, we were using telephones on a wall. And then the other ones that weren't on a wall, you put a long cord on it. We bought 6 and 7 foot cords. So we can take them into each room, the bathroom, the kitchen, wherever. The kitchen always had a phone on the wall. But we take those phones, but now the phone is in your back pocket or your purse, or you carry it in your hand. And you can look at it and dial the numbers. You don't have to go wait until that one comes back and wait, Murray, Amherst, and all those numbers. So I think I got my first, I don't know when I got my first phone, but it was one of those bag phone, no, the utility phone, the big horn phone. And then I got the bag phone, and then there came another phone. And so I've been trying to use social media since it's been here. We didn't have social media. You had to actually find a phone, even if it was on the street, call somebody and say, can you meet me? You want to meet me here, want to meet me there, whatever. So I'll try to slow down. So I'm trying to get used to the social media, the new things. I can use my phone because it's an iPhone, and I feel like that's easier because things are right there and I can just punch it. But social media is a little bit harder because you have to, now I'm filming. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll get better. So I did this videotape. I'm talking, but I really don't know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to act like I know what I'm talking about because I've seen all the videos, I've seen the places and everything. So I'm just in the streets, just trying to do this thing. And again, make sure you subscribe, like, comment who you are, where you're from. If you thought about living abroad, where? If you're living abroad, what brought you to that point? The video is a little short one, but at the end, I'm going to tell you about one of the places that I thought or that I chose and why. And if it's on the list or if it's not on the list, because you can move a couple places. You don't have to just move to one. People think you need to, wherever you were born, you need to live and die in that place. But you don't have to. I'm telling you, you don't have to. You don't have to. You can be 90. If you're in good health and you're rolling around driving in this crazy traffic, oh my gosh. And I know some people like that. I don't, it's just, I'm a rage driver, so I try not to get behind the wheel much. But yeah, you can do it. So I hope you enjoy the video, even with the really spinning part. And at the end, I'll come back and tell you about the other country that I put on my list. So like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and what else? Comment, share. I'm trying to reach 5,000 subscribers. Isn't that what they say? I'm trying to reach 5,000 subscribers. See you later. Watch till the end. We are. My first time around.
precauciones al abrir los compartimientos superiores, ya que el contenido se ha podido desplazar durante el vuelo y el aterrizaje. Recuerden revisar los bolsillos de sus asientos. Comprometidos con el medio ambiente en disminuir las emisiones de carbono y mantener el confort de la cabina, les solicitamos abrir las puertas de aire acondicionado. Y si su destino final es la ciudad de Panamá, y deben de...
Hello, I'm glad you watched to the end. Thank you again. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm here to tell you what country was on my list, and it was Belize. Everybody said how beautiful the country is. Oh, it's gorgeous, it's green, it's lush, it's this and that. And so that was on my list. And I told everybody in 2018 I was moving to Belize. Yeah, I'm moving to Belize. I went on the basis that it was pretty green, lush. I hadn't done research yet, but I thought, how could something like that, tropical, be so bad? They went surfing there. And he said they heard some loud noise and looked over and it's police chasing somebody. It was actually, then I heard other people talk about the roads, the infrastructure. Those are my basic things, the cost of living, the economy, the infrastructure, which is the healthcare, the government, the climate, all of those kinds of things, utilities, all those infrastructure kinds of things. And the cost of living was a little less, but the infrastructure itself, I read where they have been for years trying to fix the water system. I don't quite know what's wrong with it, but it needs a lot of work. The roads, the transportation. I look at the cost of living. I knew somebody lived there. To get everything that you want, you'll need to live in the city. So, of course, the city is going to be higher because that's where you can get your medical care. If you live in rural areas, you're going to have a hard time getting anything, period. It's just going to be really hard. So that makes the city pretty overwhelming. Best internet's going to be there. They mostly use satellite. Your health care is public. There is a fee, or at least when I was doing research, there was a fee for public health care. Those totaled together just was not meeting my purpose that I wanted. I wanted really excellent health care, but that is off the list because if something happens to you and you need to get to a hospital or some care, they call it emergency care, you're going to have to get airlifted out to another country. So that you don't know what's going to happen to you. You can be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Something can happen to you, but you want to be able to get care in minutes. That was not something. And safety was another issue. Maybe wouldn't go with infrastructure, but safety is an issue. I want to go out at 10 o'clock at night, walk to the corner store. Well, where is it? South of the city or whatever they said, south something. Not a very good area. There are high crime rates, murder, drugs, the whole thing. Now, I was reading this, no one's telling me this. And so I'm thinking, that's not going to be me. That's not going to be me. Not at all. Not going to be me. So with that, I thought I got to start looking somewhere else. And it's a British monarchy. So I don't really want that. I don't really want the colonization kind of a country. That I don't want that. The climate was tropical, but another thing, hurricanes. I did not want to be in the mile or the way of a hurricane. I didn't want it to be twisting and turning that way. I didn't want to be in Hurricane Alley. I didn't want to be, and that is one of the things that crime, medical care, hurricanes, no. And economy costing more, and it continues to go up. So I don't know, but they have a lot of crimes that are unsolved, a lot of violent crimes. I didn't want that. So the roads, I think they've been working on them for a long time, for years, where I understand it. If you read it, you can Google all of this. I did. I mean, I Googled everything. The taxation, they're not taxing, as far as I know now, Still not, but I don't know. They're not taxing outside income. You know, some places do tax outside income, but I don't think they do yet. To get those things fixed, they may have to. I don't know. But they're underfunded and understaffed in their hospitals. So even if you don't have to get flown out, you go. They have private and public, but public is a fee. Unlike some other countries, public is not a fee. You get charged for whatever they do, and it might $20, $15, $5. I don't know. How are you? Are you always going to be like that? Are you? So it didn't even matter to me. That was checked off the list. It's my first thought that I'm moving to Belize, and with a lot of information from a lot of people who live there and a lot of researching, is my first country is gone off of my list because it didn't offer all the things that I wanted it to offer and that I needed. And what can you say? Bye Belize. And that's what I did. Bye Belize. I couldn't do it. Some other people live there and they love it. You know, if you stay in the city and you might have a beach over there that is really cool. My choice is not Belize. I hope you enjoyed it. I appreciate you watching it. I'll get better. I hope you subscribe, like, ring the notification bell, share, comment who you are, where you're from, if you've ever thought about living abroad, where, and if you live abroad, where. How is it there? Do you like it? How'd you figure that out? Okay, thanks for watching. Hope to see you back soon.